Hey, so Raker was excited to see Pathologic on Subblock last week, and threw it on this week too. This game is super weird. It's a Russian game about the occult, maybe? It's kind of Lovecraftian. It's pretty cool, though. Indie game from like 2005. I tried researching how to fix the frame rate issue we had last week, where like it kept displaying the frame rate and the RAM usage to like 12 digits. Decimal points in the top left corner, and it's just gone. It just works now. So, not going to question it, just going to be happy that it works. Couldn't find out how to fix it anyway, so. Oh, right on, Robin. Do you find that that's a, does it help explain anything? I don't know, sometimes, like when I was diagnosed with my anxiety, it kind of helped me to have a word to describe it. How I was weird compared to other people, you know? Hey, Boys and Cubed, how you doing? Let's try doing this with the controller. Yeah, I like having vocabulary for it. It helps me to wrap my head around something that's difficult to wrap one's head around. What's my map button? I need the map. I have to use the keyboard for that. We gotta go to this house in the middle. Go try to do that. We're currently investigating a spooky murder of someone who is supposedly immortal. Like, I think immortal in the sense that they couldn't die from old age, but could still be murdered spookily. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm sending good thoughts your way, Ravenon, whether that's something that is relieving to know for sure or distressing to know for sure. That's not anxiety, you're just sad. Ever tried going outside? If you don't feel good, just, sing a song. Go to the beach. Go hiking. Do things that require motivation. I have a disease that robs me of all motivation. Oh, do some things that require motivation to do. Thanks. Appreciate that. My leg's broken. Have you considered going for a walk?
I should let some fresh air into the room. What?
Seem to have lost any capacity for observation. My mind's out of tune. Things no longer add up. Or I had no trouble forming a trustworthy tessellation under the most imperceptible contingencies. No, I can't get my head around it. Could it be that I'm dying? Because you can't figure out something? A little neurotic. You haven't slept for a while, have you? If you say yes, it definitely means you're about to die. Herba tivirine is in blossom, and then it blooms every year. Every year the steppe is filled with stupefying vapors. The issue I'm having has nothing to do with fatigue or perplexity. I lost my ability to make distinctive events coincide. Everyone has that ability. What herb is that? Fires all heady aroma, a bunch of superstitions. Remarkably little else. It has psychoactive properties after a fashion, but then so does simple wormwood. It's a pity I'm not a botanist.
This girl is a changeling. She's not the murderer.
So, I'm super puzzled by the voice lines. I don't know if these were in the original game or if they're only in Classic HD. They seem to give stuff away. Traveled all the way here only to find that both the people you wanted to see were brutally murdered. This is how the story goes. Hope your visit's not in any way related to these most unfortunate circumstances. Sabarov told me you have a gift for all manner of investigative inquiry. No better investigator than you. Never had a chance to search for a murderer before. Shabnak Adir is the simple man's scarecrow. Huh. Giving away stuff with their voice lines. Yeah. Last time, the voice line just gave away the text that was in that precise block. Consider the circumstances of his death. They said Simon had locked himself up in the evening and consequently died in the morning inside the mansion, in a chamber with some peculiar name. Simon was poisoned by the Canes, I would have thought, but I know their family all too well. Loyalty's only rivaled by their arrogance towards anyone who's not one of them. They hold the princely sage who stands at the head of the family in high esteem. How do you think they got poisoned? I don't believe you understand what he died in focus really implies. Do you know what the Canes refer to as focus? You don't seem to grasp the semantics. I don't, thank you. Bring me up to speed. These kinds of innuendos are their forte. What is this focus? It is anything but an abstraction. It's governed by mathematically rigid regularities. No one but the owner of a focus may get inside. Only means Simon brought the killer with him, or rather within him. Huh. So it's like a pocket dimension? Canes are notoriously passionate about all manner of synthetic anomalies. Focus can be compared to a camera obscura. The name is not unfitting. It's entirely impossible for someone to get inside. Curious conclusion, but an incorrect one. Simon was disfigured and bleeding. His bones were broken. This introduces a different perspective. Isidore was the last person to see Simon? What did he see before? That's why I'm trying to chase Isidore's steps. Yeah, Jess, how do you know all that? You fail to grasp the entirety of your predicament. One of the children saw Isidore come home. They're waiting by the entrance, eager to hear his step story. The prosecution of Isidore's son is based on the testimony of a child. Has Isidore seen the Sabarov? He warned Sabarov of an upcoming storm. Let me suggest that while he was in the steppe, he saw or learned something that he wanted to report to all three ruling families. In this case, either the Olgimsky family should have been on his itinerary. Barak was one of their own men. The whole project, from the abattoir to the railway, is controlled by the Olgimsky family. Isidore's discovery had anything to do at all with the kin, capital K. Isidore would have certainly related to Vlad. Make sure to pay a visit to the Lump. It's the name of their mansion. Okay. Lots of great proper nouns in this game. I was marveling at how much, like, the insides of buildings look different from one another. I feel like an indie game like this would, like, not shy away from copying and pasting everything. Let's see if I can... There, I do have a map button. Okay. Try to save regularly. It feels like that kind of game. Yep. His name's just Vlad because they're in Russia. There's no significance to that. Let's see what this was, because it had a sign on the outside. This dude sells kerosene, hook, needle. Dude, there's like 7 Russian names in every movie and video game that features Russian characters. That is made by Westerners. Metal Gear Solid, even made by a Japanese guy. Let's see. You're a doggo. Can I pet the doggo? This guy is an unimportant NPC. You repair this device for me. You have him fix my scalpel? That seems unnecessary. Is this because he's a factory worker? Rod. Oh, we want to go to the... Oops. Just way south. Oh, cool. Did that go alright? It wasn't too stressful. Trying to think. I went on... When I got laid off from the job I used to work at with Kat, they flew us out to Chicago at the end of that job to train our replacements, which was... I mean, they paid us, like, double pay or something, which we all kind of needed after we just found out we were getting laid off. So I think that was my first one. And then the Dodd-Frank legislation that came out after the mortgage crisis. We had to fly around and chase a bit to do some projects related to that. Yeah, most of my anxiety, like, the nexus point is the airport. Like, once I'm sitting at the gate and it can no longer be my fault that I failed to get on the plane, I'm cool, but like every step up to that point, I'm freaking out. Some characters require you to speak to them, like talk through their dialogue, and then before leaving the room, initiate conversations with them again. It's a cool painting. It's a little spooky. They really put a lot of work into these paintings, too. I don't think I've seen any duplicated ones across buildings. Immunity, hunger, exhaustion. I probably should eat something eventually.
Lucky people are bad hands at correcting their faults. They always believe that they're right when fortune backs up their vice or folly.
That was super quiet. Bachelor Denkovsky, of course. Who else could be so dapper? I've heard quite a lot about you. What is the current state of your industry? Complicated establishment with 1,000 years of history. It'd be pointless to object. Not seeing eye to eye. The project, with capital P, is very special. Common standards don't apply here. That would be very naive.
Someone will have to be punished for this sin.
Inquire about the fate of my colleague, Isidore Barak, the manner to his death. What is this manner you're talking about? What are you implying? They say Isidore was murdered by a step demon? Shabnak Adir? There was a thingy, a talon they fished out from the wound. Right, a demon. Why didn't I think of it straight away? It was so obvious. I could take this from children and weirdos, but you, a respectable negotiant. It's hard for you to believe, isn't it? It used to be hard for many. You take my boy, and he believes it's real. You're in the steppe now. eastern and backwards. The dead rise from their graves here, clay dummies dance, and bulls talk. Does he know the step well? Yes, Raffin. I got distracted and stopped listing them, but that's basically all 7 of them. I think it's probably Dmitri. I see most... Dmitri and Sergei are probably the 2 I see most frequently in Western fiction. His son rubs elbows with the rabble, basically, listens to their stories. You see a worm creeping through the streets. He's definitely looking for my son. You call them rabble? Dangerous, aggressive, and they hate everyone who isn't a step person. They'll jump you and kill you on the spot. Tear you up with their teeth and devour your flesh while you're still throwing fists at them. So if they're spotted within the town, countermeasures are taken. So of your son, perhaps you can tell me more of this creature. You want to talk to my blockhead? You have nothing to talk about. He's not here. I don't want you two to meet. These are tradesmen's words, and I'll stick to them.
No, I won't believe in some other.
How do you think Simon died? I don't think he was murdered. How could he who craved monocracy not perish? He couldn't, not in this place. Simon's death worked in favor of the local hotshots. Someone takes too much upon themselves, they always end up ground down. That's how life works. There were signs of an otherworldly visitor that night, weren't there? Simon lived a very long life. He was a worthy man. And we don't exactly know how long he was, other than that people said he was immortal. Cain won't let me examine the body. That is temporary, a family tradition. He's not lying to you. He truly believes Simon was murdered. Were he to admit that Simon simply died of death, he'd probably go to his last home himself. That's such an interesting way to phrase it. Georgie didn't seem sentimental to me.
What?
Sir came by to see you last night. I'm also aware of what you two have been talking about. Why did he leave to see Simon afterwards? He asked me to stop the factory. Why? No, I think it's intentional, right? They're saying he died of death. Like, he didn't die of murder. They believe that he was incapable of dying of death, so to speak. Just dying naturally. So I think he was just using a kind of a weird phrasing to suggest that. Everyone in this town talks really strangely. And the localization uses too many, like, $4 words for me to suspect that that's on accident. It doesn't quite feel like... I've definitely read... I used to have a boss at the job I worked at with Kat who would just use a thesaurus on every other word in a performance review. So instead of saying that you're really good at switching between tasks, you would say that you would oscillate between tasks. Like, come on, dude. I'm not like a fan. Property, like I said, is in order. See the skin and meat delivery reports. You're the big guy here.
No.
Okay, so I can, basically, all of the options at the beginning of the conversation, I can play through all of them by talking to them repeatedly. What's this thing? That was the thing that there was a picture of. In the dude's house. I can't seem to interact with it. That's super fucking creepy. It's just there? Nikolai, Can't use my plague vision on it. Everyone in town fine with this? Like, no one has an issue with this thing? Don't mess with us, we know a thing or two about life. Let's barter, lad. Alpha tablets. Immunity booster. Okay, well I don't have a new map objective, I don't think, so now it's probably just time for me to search around on my own. I can search around the house more. Yeah, it's pretty short. I mean, I feel like you get that less with other nationalities. Like, if you name a French character Pierre or something, like, you're kind of obviously going for on the nose or cheesy or stereotypy, but, like, I feel like you can have a completely serious work that has 5 Russian characters named, you know, Nikolai, Vladimir. Jean-Claude. It's cool we saw this picture and then we saw one of the railroads running outside. Hey man.
What?
Where is your son? Is he secretly here somewhere? This is the first time we've gone to a location and the game hasn't given us a new location to investigate. I have other people I could talk to and see if they have ideas. Just sleep in this guy's bed, that won't be weird, right? I kind of want to go in all the houses just to see all the unique paintings. Okay, I think fans for the HD remake must have submitted them or something. They're all very different styles. Alright, let's see. Theater. Bad Grief Slayer. Scriptorium. Let's try talking to Yulia again. Maybe she's the one that sent me here. Maybe she has new ideas of what to do next. What's the little UI element that pops up in the top left corner occasionally? Looks like it's a number that's incrementing next to it. I'll point it out next time it shows up. This game kind of throws you to the wolves in terms of the UI, but I think that's on purpose. Journal comes in handy. Elder Olgimsky does his best to avoid any mention of his household. When I asked him what his son was doing, the Honorable Stockbreeder momentarily lost his temper, excuse me. He knows just as much as a father. It'd be easier to get him to talking. Yeah, okay, so I know that I need to look for his son, but he didn't give me a hint. So I'm hoping if I talk to Yulia, she'll tip me off. That's the thing popping up in the top left. It's just minor loot. Oh, there's like secret locations on the map where you can find that stuff? That's kind of cool. Let's see if I can find a list of things. Oh, that's money. Currency. Okay. Yeah, see, so I just picked up 8 coins. Yulia, do you know this dude's son? What's up?
I keep forgetting the most basic things these days.
Do you like Eva Yan? Admire her.
I'm afraid it's natural. Simon was doomed.
Maybe relevant experience. You know how a murderer may be found. I'm the killer of all killers in my laboratory. I'm trying to get rid of death. It's impossible. The killer's hiding in the house of Anna Angel, a thespian of sorts. Here's another woman worthy of attention. I heard a ghastly man covered in blood was seen entering her house today. How do you know this? Town is a small place. You know each other so well, we're sometimes able to hear one another's thoughts. A family trait. Doubt the man in Anna's house is the real killer. Lives in a mansion that once belonged to a family of exiles whose political views led them to a far-out town like ours. Because of some ill-conceived sense of camaraderie, they were happy to give shelter to a runaway actress. As soon as she told them she was persecuted by the powers that be. Daughter died mysteriously. They all died of natural causes, allegedly, even though Willow was buried in a tightly closed coffin. Creepy. Body was examined by Isidore Barak. He's not a man who would cover up a crime. Look at the house yourself. The mansion's known as the Willow that stands by the gullet in earth. Cool. Well, at least we have a different lead. I guess it's the first lead that I ran into that turned up cold, so I'm here. Now we went across the river. I'll see if she has any other leads for me.
I'm of little use now.
Managed to find out so much about me in 1 minute's talk.
This girl is a changeling. She's not the murderer.
Okay, that's everything. Go across the river here. I can interact with these, right? Empty bottle is required. Okay. Yeah, I thought that was really cool, too. I was confused at it at first. I think it's supposed to be because you're like a Bachelor of Science. But I've never heard that word used outside of, like, you know, the description of a degree. So I wonder, too, if that's a localization thing. Or my character options at the beginning were, like, the Bachelor, the Haruspecs, and was it like the Changeling was the third one, maybe? We couldn't play as the third one until beating the base campaign for the first 2 characters. It might be a Russian thing. It makes sense that another language would use that word, right? If that's your level of training. Like, we'll call someone a doctor or something, but we won't call you like a master or a bachelor. Ooh, is that a bottle? Alright. Can we fill with spring water? Water is in high demand among the townsfolk, especially drunkards, because it's good for quenching thirst. Water barrels carry water from the spring of Sugag Kadu. That's This game is like super Lovecraftian, and I don't know if that's on purpose. It is though. It's a cool picture. The cathartic milestone for me in this game is finding a new picture. Creepy broken mirror. What's up?
I don't want to undress. What if there's something scary on my skin?
Who the hell are you? Why have you donned this dreadful outfit? My name is Daniil Denkovsky. I am the Bachelor. What's wrong with my outfit? It's snakeskin. Are you a performer, a circus actor, a tamer? I'm a scientist. Yeah, I've seen Journeyman, Apprentice, and Master. Would that be a formal title that you might introduce yourself as to someone else? Hey, what's up, Journeyman Burnside? What's horrible? Everything's horrible. Yairo. Came, after me, right? I have no idea what you're talking about. So yes, that's why I'm here.
Shebnek is an evil man-eater made of clay and bones. She's the murderer.
So that man, he's like dead, right? He isn't breathing. I was so scared. He barged in here all bloody. I thought he was sent here, but he didn't try to attack me. Those hideous wounds, like he was cut with precision to mangle the body as much as possible. Who would do something like this? An experienced surgeon. Isidore was a surgeon, right? As well? Mumbling something to that extent. There's this hunt for Simon Kane's murderer going on. They mistook this guy for the culprit, even though he was actually a hunter, not a huntee. Simon's murderer that wounded him so horribly, wasn't it? Why do you think the man himself is not the murderer? Something after the murderer. Tried to ambush him at the station. This guy did indeed come face to face with the murderer there. Don't call anyone here, okay? I'm begging you. If they find a dead man in my house. Hard to explain, but I promise I'll do so later. When we have the time, I didn't kill him, I swear. Couldn't have mutilated him so horrendously. Why are you so anxious? Because someone died in her house? Many people would be happy to blame her for it, it looks like. Tell the caretaker of the cemetery there's someone less than living in my house. Who's the caretaker? Daughter's the one who's caring for the cemetery now. Her name's Grace. So see to the dead man as though he were still alive and kicking. Interesting. It's a pretty big branching point. I'll help you get rid of the body, no questions asked. I'm expecting to hear an enthralling story afterwards. Getting rid of bodies is an emotional and troublesome business. Grace, a young girl and the muse of the cemetery, can help Anna Angel arrange that. I actually see the body in the house somewhere. Oh, I walked right over it without looking. So I can't investigate it. I think I was standing on his corpse when I was talking to her. Whoops. Always chaos. She's a ways out of the way, if that makes sense. Southeast. It's like Earthbound, we have to investigate every trash can. What if it has good shit in it? That has nothing in it. We're never going to see any more crazy, running, hunched clay monsters in the town that everyone else is totally chill with. More empty bottles. So we actually want to go up and around here. Can't scale the walls. That thing's called the abattoir. There's definitely something creepy going on here that, like, keeps you from leaving the town. Oh, I just got something that wasn't currency that dropped right. Let me see if I can see what it was. Bronze bracelet. Maybe hundreds of years old. Dog barking makes me jump every time. It's quite a bit louder than the other ambient sounds. Down and around, okay. What the hell is that shit in the distance? It's creepy looking. Hey man, what are you so bummed about? It's okay. I know what that's like. I'm sorry that I interrupt you being bummed in the middle of the field. This ain't New York City, apparently. Here we go. Caretaker lady, help me hide a body. For a lady I just met. Huh. This is the cellar, and there's somewhere else in the top. I feel like this is the kind of game where I'm going to walk into one of these buildings one of these days and something horrific's just going to attack me. Because, like, there is a combat system in this game. Hasn't come up yet. So I got 2 bottles of water. See if there's a front door to this building somewhere. That's spooky. Can you not have a creepy doll? More creepy dolls. Wonderful. You should light your house better.
Perhaps turning inside out will help? He who
I haven't
distrusts
tried
himself is better off silent.
Where to find clean water around here? Fresh water must be plentiful in this place. All that water comes from the steppe. It's not exactly clean. Yesterday I inspected all the springs in the area. There seems to be no more clean water around. Salty taste is everywhere. Where can I find clean water? Townshook. Store clean water in homemade reservoirs. A modest supply should be enough to help us last a little while. Afterwards, I'll have to drink that bloody mixture. Oh, disgusting.
To tame his impertinence, Earth had disgorged a monster from deep within its bowels.
I feel like they got fans to record the dialogue lines for these characters and take the photos for them. Your veins are all swollen. Does being close to me make your blood stir? Is there anyone around that we want to see Simon killed? No one's seen the Shabnak yet, which is the name of the demon thing. Everyone knows what he wants. And the man-eater's victim feels the encroaching death. No one advanced their next on his list, so they walk about restlessly, waiting and waiting and waiting. And the wait is over. Why are you calling her a he? I don't believe the man-eater's a woman. It's sexless.
He who distrusts.
Okay, so she's not the gravedigger. Let me just double check my journal here real quick. Grace is the name of the caretaker. That is not a real door. Oh, I'm not in the right building. I'm just talking to a weird random lady. Okay, my bad. Creepy, weird, random lady. Got it. This looks right. That's a fun gravestone symbol. People of this village really like to play Quake. It's like a hanging man? No, it's like a pendant. Also creepy. Don't stare at me like that right as I walk in the room, dude. Hunchback. Waiting for Grace. Where is she? No Grace around here. This place is completely graceless. So it has a lot of little jokes that are presumably localized, like that one. Finding someone 1600 without any roaring thunder. Long since the stiff's gone stiff. I have no idea. Bring 2000 here, we'll bury the devil himself and sing a pretty tune for you to boot. Gotta put even the Shabnak back on the ground for 2000. So this dude's offering to bury the body for me even though Grace isn't here. Then folks are addicted to not starving, so they're gradually selling their stuff. Who might you be burying? A certain beggar. Okay, so it sounds like they agreed to help me. Did I already give them all my money? I think I did. I'll check in with him one more time just to make sure. And I should have a new journal entry from that, I think. I had the temerity to suggest that I pawn my belongings. We can go see what Anna Angel says. Yeah, the super creepy dark house with the random dolls was, like, not even on the quest path. Extra spooky. This game feels like the sort of game where stuff kind of just happens, like, there's not any fanfare or cutscene. That's the difference between running into the Butcher in Diablo 1 versus Diablo 3. I think that cinematicness works against horror, at least for me personally. If you can start to see some of the, like, storytelling hallmarks, you can start to expect, okay, we've been holding on this scene for 7 seconds, jump stairs coming in 3, 2, there it is. Boom. Yo.
When you look her in the eye, your mouth just kinda opens up.
Give your honest opinion. Do you find Simon Kane's death unnatural? Hey, Nodovan, how you doing? Buried him underground for a couple days and he'd be totally fine. He was pierced with iron rods once, too. One of them broke his chest, but Simon didn't die. You appreciated him as a fellow professional. Could have killed himself. Why? No one else could have done it. No one, and I mean it. I feel my leg being pulled. Alright, well, she doesn't want to help me with the 2,000 coins to bury the dead guy in her house, so I'm gonna have to scrounge up that money on my own. I think I've run past a couple pawn shops. Don't think they got marked on the map because I didn't stop in them. Let's see, the lighter colored houses might be the ones I'm allowed to go in. The haters couldn't have done this. This is the one I was thinking of. Hey man, do you want to buy some of my tools? Well, they weren't kidding when they said they'll pay a lot. Apparently they really like drugs. And again, who doesn't? So I need to confirm the sale. I'm still not super clear. My understanding that Pathologic 2 is basically a remake? Sort of? Reimagining? Started as just let's port Pathologic into Unity, and then they took it further than that. That'd be nice if at least it's the other path from the one I'm doing in this one. Whoa! What are you attacking a random lady for? Difficult to explain without spoilers, I see. Some other townsfolk saw me punching this guy. Came to fight me. Congo Land. Why is there a baby crying? I think I did punch him to death, yeah. Wait, I'm super lost now. Just wanted to knock him out so he'd leave that lady alone. Just taking a nap. You know. They did warn me at the beginning of the game that there's a karma system in this, but I assume punching the dude that was attacking the random lady? Well, who knows? Might have accelerated the rate of bad shit happening. Got the money here. Anna Angel's place. Let's head back to Anna Angel's. They do some cool stuff with the draw distance in this game, too. I think I'm staring at the big abattoir building. That's pretty spooky. Oh, buildings work like GTA safe houses. He's like, well, can't reach him now. May as well give up. Okay. Cool fighting pit thing over here. Cattle corral, maybe? Anna Angel is where? She's not marked on my map. Oh, there it is. The Willows. So I keep going straight. I'll get to her eventually. I was worried when I first booted up this game and saw how big your inventory is that it would be difficult to figure out where you're supposed to go. I feel like they did a pretty good job with the UI in that respect. The journal too. Has anyone who's beaten this game before know? Can you get yourself into an unwinnable game state easily in this? Let's see. Thinking about it. No proof I'm the punchy man. Do you get it on video?
The paint is peeling off me. So ugly.
Would you give you some sort of trinket as a token of my gratitude? I'll take your ring. Each of the rings she gave me represents her feelings, and she gave me $1,000. Oh. Other bone necklace. Does not resemble a bullhorn, but rather a mammoth or elephant tusk. Gold ring. Silver ring.
What do you all want from us? Shubnak is an evil man-eater made of clay and
Hey,
bones.
this is relevant.
She's the murderer.
Where does Olgimsky's son live? Vlad the Younger? Why would you need him? You'll help me find Isidore Barak's murderer. Isidore's been killed too? It can't be. Unbelievable. Who's walking through the town, killing left and right? The sooner I speak to Vlad the Younger, the sooner I find the murderer. Don't tell Vlad I gave away his hideout, will you? No, I won't. Somewhere by the station, doing shady business in an abandoned shack. Is he like treasure hunting? I haven't been there, but I've heard he bricked the windows in so no one could peek. Okay. I'm going to start heading in that direction. That'll probably be our stopping point. Start leaving notes to future me. I trade them all for the ultimate ring. I think she gave me items that were worth more than the 2,000 I spent on the Gravedigger guy. I think I just started booking it. Alright, Future Marstead, you are investigating the murder of an immortal guy named Simon, the Kane family, and Isidore, who was your colleague, was meeting with him. Both of them are dead. You're currently going to talk to this rich guy who lives in a place called the Lump. You're going to go talk to his son. His dad, who you've met, is kind of a dick. The guy who lives in the Lump mansion. You just found out where this dude is, and you promised the lady who you just helped she wouldn't give away that she told you where the hideout was. The lady you helped's name is Anna Angel, and you helped her by paying a hunchback 2,000 coins, 2,000 currency to bury a dead body that was in her house for no reason. Oh, I wonder if I can get better water on that. That doesn't look like the dude's son, but you'll have to find that out in the next episode, Future Marstead. Thanks, folks. We'll be back with the next sublot game, StarCraft.